In studio with us is a man of the people. He has one of the best success stories because he started as an underdog and he's really just dominated and taken over. We're talking about none other than the Honorable Peter Salasya. Habari yako Mahesh?
Poa sana.
Mi
Uko poa?
namwitanga PK.
PK.
Thank you.
Mr. PK, how are you?
I'm very fine.
Kwanza suti imekubali bwana.
Yeah, luku iko presidential.
Iko presidential. Na kwanza utatuchapia hiyo story ya presidential.
Kabisa.
But of course we want to capture your life from being a youth, getting into the hustle and getting into leadership. But kwa wale wakujui Honorable Salasya, umekuwa quite the personality both online and also offline. How do you balance being a member of parliament with everyday Salasya wa mtaa vibe? Unajua si rahisi.
Salasya wa ma vibe.
Yeah.
Kabisa.
Salasya anakuanga vibes.
So maybe what I can just say is that politics is just like being a content creator, politician.
Is it?
Yeah, because you see, like a content creator, you'll find when he's speaking, like he just speaks one story, right? In the middle of things, he has changed totally. And he's speaking about something so differently. And that is how you need to balance as a politician. You need to know, like, within an hour or within a minutes, you should be able to change from one character to another. It's just like a play. You need to know how to engage. And you see now, like right now, people, they're so much bored. And they have had so many narratives and all that. So you must be very person who can be creative enough in order to make them switch off a bit, and you bring them on board and you move together.
That's beautiful because not so many people see life the same way.
Yeah, truly. And Salasya, not many people know that you were actually a student leader in campus. Tuambie kidogo venye, because I know leadership started at a younger age for you. Tell us about you being a leader from that time.
I can just say that I never knew that maybe one day I'll be somebody in this country in terms of leadership of this country. And I was doing some things as for fun, because I remember I was a very cool person, by the way, when I was growing up. I think I'm working on a book, and this book I'm doing it very interestingly, like where I've had just a person to...
You're working on a book?
Yes.
Wow.
And visit the people who knew me before and give the story. Even me, I don't know what they told him, because I also want to know who I was when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Right. So like the little I can, and I've also brought on board some of the people that I was schooling with at Egerton, maybe to also remind me. I'm also very interested to know how I was, because I can't tell it exactly that this is how I used to behave and all that. But the more important thing is that when I was in the university, like I was a cool person all along. Even this issue of being into leadership, I was like all the way from primary to secondary school, it was being pushed for, like, you need to be in this position. So when I went to the university, I think I just say that I want, for passion, for fun, that I want to be the student leader. So during that process, like, because I used to do a lot in terms of mobilizing students and even going outside the students themselves and going and supporting the street children of Nakuru. And that. But now people used to say that you will be the MP of Mumias, where you come from, and all that. But I never used to take it serious, and I never, even me, it was never a part of me, by the way, until, so I was doing some things that's for passion. Passion, just being a leader and all that, but no big aspiration.
What made you start believing that you're going to be a leader?
Ndio
Because
sasa
unasema you're doing
usimame.
it for passion, like imefika mahali it's now becoming very serious. What's that one thing that told you, by the way, PK, you can actually do this thing?
I think what really made me is just like we can say when I was going, because I remember I vied for the student leadership director academics, I failed terribly. And then later on, I went for the vice chair. That is when I was in third year, 2012, around there. So when I got it, I was just doing it for fun, like serving the in fact, my mind was never outside the student. It was
Issues. It was based on the issues of the students.
Like that. So, but now later on, when I completed, because I used to stay in the village all along, and my interest was like, once I finish the campus, I want to come to Nairobi and all that. But when I finished the school, I found myself, the first job was selling bicycles. So they posted me at Kakamega to go and work close at home, to sell bicycles at home. So it is during that time is when I started realizing that I there's some calling that was inside me. Like, I go to the people in funeral. Something tells me, like, during that time we never used to have this parallel help. Help never used to be on parallel student. So I saw the urge of starting that advocacy, telling the people in my constituent that even if a student mtoto hajapata direct entry to the university, by that time I think it was B plus, and maybe got a C plus. It's easier and easier for that person going through university than colleges. So I started doing that advocacy, telling people, it's just like trying to bring people on board. So in the process now, and even that was in 2014. In 2014, and it was never in my mind, like, I want to be. So people reached a point and say that you deserve to be our MP. Our MP.
Yes.
You deserve to be.
Were you shocked?
I was shocked, like, and people just started like asking, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Then that process is when people just say, like, some say go for the MCA, and by that time my heart was, I didn't want to go for the MCA or whatever. So it reached a point, and in 2016 is when I made up my mind, like, I want to go for this seat. So in that process, I vied in 2017, but unfortunately I failed terribly. I got 254 votes, and even my own polling station I failed terribly. But
you did not give up.
I didn't give up. In 2017, I just healed after that depression, because I had a lot of aspiration, like, I'm going to be the MP, and people were saying you are going to get it. But now I had to go to the healing process after like 6 months or so. I started again now mobilizing myself. I called for myself a meeting, and looked at the SWOT analysis thing, looking at my strengths, my weaknesses, opportunities,
and threats
around, and came up with strategies on how to improve on my weaknesses, improve on my work on my threats and all that, and improve on strengths that I had, because my strength was about to speak. When I have the meeting, the comedy thing, then you bring people on board,
and you're captivating as well.
Yes.
Hapo kwanza kwa comedy, you're very, very entertaining. I'll tell you this. First of all, June is Mental Health Awareness Month for men. I love that you've brought up mambo ya depression, because it shows someone that you can go through it and heal and wake up and dust yourself off and just get back on trail. Now, between 2017 and 2022, you've told us so much has happened. But I want us to know that life-changing moment that made you realize, enyewe ninaweza chukua hii kitu. Nini ilifika point gani? Ilikuwa hapo towards the end mkimaliza campaign, ama ni wapi ndo ilifika and you're like, yeah, I can actually do this. I have a chance at winning this.
Like, in 2017, first of all, as I've just told you, that I had a meeting for myself. And this is a very big lesson to anyone who has had a challenge in life. Like, you must have a sit down, because the decision always the decision always comes from you. You are the problem solver in any given scenario or situation. And so I had to sit down and looked at myself, like, this is it, this is where I failed and all that. But you asked a question, how did I get it to,
like, ni nini hapo ilifika point gani ukasema enyewe naweza chukua hii kitu? Ulienda wapi? Because wacha nikwambie, actually a big part of our listeners wanakuanga watu wa Kakamega, so wanasikiza hii show saizi. And ni wapi ilifika kwa campaign ukasema enyewe hapa ground imekubali?
Unajua lazima ujue, wanasemanga even when you're cooking, you know if this meal is gonna be good.
Oh yeah.
Ako ka moment kenye unasema nimepiga campaign mzuri na nasongea karibu na naona ni kama mimi ndo nitakuwa MP.
That's a very interesting question, because I remember my friend told me, boss, this thing we are taking, and he told me, I asked him, like, why? Because there are things that we had worked at, like even you remember the day just to the election and one day to the election, like our opponents were fighting, but I was not fighting because I had really it's like I've done my best in terms of like I myself, like I've worked in all areas. I've spoken to the young people, I've spoken to the women, I've done all my part. And it reached a point that just say that my friend told me this thing because it's just about like looking at your opponents. I did analysis of my opponents that I had.
Ukajua hapa nimewakamatia chini.
Nikajua hapa huyu
nimemtandika hii word
na hii. So all these mathematics in place. You see, like even right now, people like just talking about 2027. They are saying that we must have one formidable candidate for this to beat the current president.
Yes.
The current president.
Yes.
But now, also, the question was like we were also in that scenario because people really wanted that change.
They wanted
but
that
now
person.
They were asking like, who are we trusting for this?
Ni nani atamtoa?
Ni nani atamtoa? Hii kazi ni nani?
Wakasema Salasya ameweza.
Na sasa unajua unajua pale wewe huwezi jiambia like
umetosha.
Na wewe mtu mmoja hawezi kuambia tu wewe huwezi. Because just like right now we are saying nani anataka president? Maybe sijui Baraga, Dani.
Salasya.
But now I ask myself, who is this person? One person that can stand out and say that William Ruto mimi nanitoa sio kwa social media. You ask, it's only Peter Salasya who will do it. Because number one, you ask yourself a question. Who has traversed in this country? Who has traversed across this country called Kenya? He has been in Isiolo, he has been in Mombasa, in coastal region, he has been in Western Kenya, he has been in Masai Land, in Kajiado, Narok, all Eldoret, everywhere, Nairobi here. So it's just in the same when people were asking like, who is going to remove this member of parliament who has been here for the last 15 years, doing nothing at all, no vision. No big minds or of change and whatever. But now I was never in the picture of the people. But Mimi, I was on the ground, on the run, doing what I'm doing right now, talking to the people, talking about the agenda. Because you see, what really matters in politics is about the agenda. And even those women at home, they are also getting the agenda. It's just like for me, I have a very simple agenda for this country. Like, say, young people, they want jobs. They want opportunities. And even when as I go to the ground there out, I'm telling people like, I'm reminding the people the history that the Kenyan people we have moved from. And I was trying, when I go, like for example, I was in Teso land, and I was telling the people of Teso, we used to have here the cotton ginnery that was doing so well in terms of clothing industry. And it was all over Kenya. And even they were exporting outside. When I was there, also in Teso, there was another one called BAT that was doing things to do with the tobacco, yeah. And when I was in Eldoret, I tell them about the Rivertex things, the KCC. When I was in Mombasa, I was telling them, look, we used to have like Mombasa refineries no longer. When I was in Limuru, telling them about Bata used to employ 3,000 people, now employing 300 people. When I was in Thika, telling people of Thika,
textile industries and stuff.
In Thika was the hub of industries in Kenya.
Yes.
But today it's just go down. So I was telling them like, we as the leaders, the current leadership of this nation have forgotten the foundations that our four leaders laid to us. So these other people do not have the agenda. So it's me. So even in Mumias East, I used to have the agenda.
So let's put a pin on that, play some music, come back, because Peter Salasya is not going anywhere. We want to get deeper in conversation. If you have a question for Mheshimiwa, tafadhali kimbia pale online using the hashtag VibeShift on Nation FM. Tag me at Brian_Claudia
Naisaba. And when we come back, we're going to discuss leadership, youth agenda, of course, the finance bill, and MP Peter Salasya's bid for presidency in 2027.
This is a song that ties on
Nation FM. Your voice, your vibe.